I put Rieko back on the left wing. Put him back where he was when he first became an All Black, and tell him that he's got to look for work as well. Give me any of those.
But that's not the motivation as to why they've set the tournament up. It's because everything is money.
I know, which is boring.
I'd pick a 23 that I'd want to throw against the South Africans, that I'd want to put in a World Cup final. What racer thinks is his best 23? Beauden Barrett starting at first 5 for me.
Welcome to the DSPN.
He's given him. Well, there you go. He was forward.
Oh, a punch up now in midfield. Fraser's involved.
The Devlin Sports Podcast Network.
Welcome to the podcast, people. Martin, Devlin, Lachlan Waugh. It's Monday. Big time rugby today. International rugby over the weekend. There were 3 matches of significance. The Lions tour kicking off in Oz versus the Force. Same scoreline in that game, 54-7, as it was. Springboks, Barbars, also New Zealand Marty, played at Japan 15. All Blacks fans, yes, we're looking forward to Saturday. First test of 3 versus France. Tony Johnson going to be in the studio with us. He picking his first All Black side of the year, as he thinks Scott Robertson will pick that team. So leave us a comment all about that. There are plenty of selection debates which have already begun. If you're listening on Rover or wherever you find your favourite podcast, you get the full audio show of this program out every afternoon. DSPN YouTube channel. We slice and dice it into more bite-sized chunk kind of interviews for you. Thank you so much for supporting us. Keep clicking that subscribe button on the DSPN YouTube channel, please. We're so close to 8,000 subscribers now. We want to hit 10,000 before Christmas, and it really does help. Every time you click, it keeps us in business. We begin the show the same way every day.
Marty Sermons, brought to you by WebWonks. Generate online leads with WebWonks. Doctors for your Google data.
We live in an amazing, amazing world, and it's wasted on the crappiest generation of just spoiled idiots.
First test of 3 versus France, then Saturday night in Dunedin. Now, this is the team that I would select as head selector on my own selection panel of 1. This is the team I would pick, injury permitting, of course, for the first French test. Now, I realise this will not be the team All Black coach Scott Robertson selects on Thursday. He has his reasons, and they are far better than anything I can mount an argument against. My criteria is defined into 5 different floors, all under the roof of the one departmental store. Number 1, what I believe from watching Super Rugby is current form. Who is playing best in that position mostly right now? There will be 1 or 2 exceptions. Number 2, combinations. I'd like to try out 1 or 2 combinations and see whether or not there is real potential there. This opponent, these 3 tests being the ideal and only time to do that, because it won't be happening during the Rugby Championship, will it? Bear in mind also there's a 4-week break after the French series before TRC starts. So if we're going to experiment, it's got to be now. Number 3, acknowledging that the French are no mugs. We want to win all 3 of these tests and play more convincing than we did in those first 2 we played last year versus England. Remember, they're very mucky kind of tests. Number 4, no sacred cows. Keeping every player honest. Everyone has to re-earn their place for me. No one gets given a spot on reputation or what they did last year. And number 5, play to our strengths, which is at a faster pace and be looking for and using space. That, of course, combined with, do I need to explain all of these good old sensible strategic test match rugby things? Owning our own set piece, winning our own aerial ball, smashing into contact, being ferocious in contesting possession, aggressively hunting turnovers, territory, playing in their half, forcing errors, adjusting quickly to the refs' calls and interpretations, playing with instinct, but also with ruthless pragmatism. No silly risks or tricks, just grind and tire this French team into submission. So here it goes. My first All Blacks 23 of the year. Feel free to leave a comment, agree, disagree. The front 5, well, no great surprise. Tyrell Lomax, Cody Taylor, Tamaiti Williams, Scott Barrett, Tupu Vai. Loose forwards, Summer Penny-Finau, Ardi, and on debut, Duplessis Kirifi. I want to reward the guy who is playing really well right now and see if it changes the way we attack and contest the breakdown, because that's his specialty, turnovers. Number 9 and number 10, Roigard and McKenzie. Yes, I'm giving the keys to Damien McKenzie. If it was the Rugby Championship that we were kicking off, I would say Beauden Barrett in that 10 jersey. But McKenzie, here's your chance to cement that spot. Midfield, Geordie and Proctor. Again, reward the guy who's been playing best in that position, which means I put Rieko back on the left wing. Put him back where he was when he first became an All Black, and tell him that he's got to look for work as well. We want a much more increased effort from Rieko Ioane in the 11 jersey. Sever Reece at 14, Will Jordan at 15. My bench is a 5-3 forwards and backs split. Fletcher Newell, Ethan de Groot, Brodie McAllister as the reserve hooker. Again, reward the informed guy. He's playing the best. That's what the selectors have told us. Fabian Holland, put him in now. You know, he might just be the answer for South Africa. Let's find out. Luke Jacobson. Then I've got Cortez Ratama, Bowden Barrett, and yes, Tava Nawai on debut. Go on. Again, bring him off the bench. He can play midfield, he can play on the wing, and you know you're going to get a massive effort from this guy. Plus, again, the opposition, they don't know stuff all about him. They don't know how he plays. They don't know that he's, well, they can watch the video, but do they know when they actually get to play him how contestable he is? So there you have it. That's my team. It won't be the team. Feel free to pick and pull it apart and leave us a comment and a reason for why you agree or disagree with me as a selector. And remember, just like every other couch selector in this country, the best thing about it, when all said and done, our teams don't actually have to hit the field and they don't have to play anyone.
Devlin.
Tight 5 time, Lachlan.
Tight 5.
5 separate sporting topics. Or we might even do 6, roughly 90 seconds on each. And when this guy yells...
Yes!
On to the next topic we go. We're going to talk about the rugby across the weekend. Lions, Force and Box and Barbars. We'll talk Broncos and Warriors. What do we learn after all of that? Jurgen Klopp has come out with, I think, the best comment that Jurgen Klopp, the former Liverpool manager, has ever come out with. All Black selection, that debate starts in earnest today. Of course it does, because the team is named on Thursday. Is anyone watching MLC? Don't lie to me. No one is watching MLC. And we're going to start it with Liam Lawson.
Yes!
Because young man qualified 6th for the Austrian GP and got his best result of the season, finishing in 6th place. You've got to be impressed with that. Of course, it was a McLaren 1-2 at the top. Brilliant. Great result.
Well, great result. He got a couple of top 10s before this year, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm talking about this year. This is the year
or
where
he's had some points finishes before this year.
It's all gone unravelled for him at the start of the year.
It's everything that can go wrong has gone wrong for Liam Lawson. So it's nice to see him get a good result.
Yeah,
and it's a track that's a very fast track, so you've got to have obviously every race you've got to have a well-built car, but this one's more about pace than the others, I guess. So no, well done. Congratulations, Liam. It's nice because there's something to celebrate finally. And it's not that we didn't have anything to celebrate before as Kiwi sports fans. We did, because we had a Kiwi in Formula One. But you sat there kind of going, oh, another race goes by. Oh, shit. Another 18th. Yeah. Another 19th. Oh, gosh. Liam, you see him in the media a lot. And I just felt really bad for him because there wasn't really good press. It was always bad press, issues with Red Bull, politics here and there. Is he going to last beyond the season? Now we've got something to celebrate.
Car organised for the guy, could they?
Which is not... they couldn't. It's a lot of the time,
it wasn't his fault.
We like to say that drivers aren't really that great because they have this machine, and is this driver really better than the ones back in the 50s and whatnot, because they have these cars that are just do half the job for them. Well, there's another edge to the sword of that when things go wrong, well, you can't fully blame the driver. You've got to blame the team and the car.
Yeah, congratulations to him, 6th place.
Well done, Liam.
Lions, Force, Box, Barbars, both games ending 54-7. What?
Yeah,
what does that tell us? I thought it was a typo error when I looked at the news, because I didn't watch the Barbars Box game live, but I watched the highlights and I looked at no, they've just put the wrong score, and they just put, what? It's exactly the same score? I think the Springboks, when I saw the highlights, forgot that it's actually a kind of a celebration game. All they did was just rolling maul them to death, and it was, I was watching and thinking, hang on, these Barbars guys have arrived 3 days beforehand, or they haven't got time to figure out how to stop a bomb squad rolling maul.
No.
Really strong.
But it's innovation. It's Springbok innovation.
The Lions Force game, I thought the Force gave it a little bit in the first half, but the Lions just overwhelmed them.
That's got the first try, didn't they? The Force.
Yeah, overwhelmed them after that, though.
Could be wrong.
And it gives Sandy Farrell some selection headaches, doesn't it? It's just, something
to tell you what, the Lions just were kicking the ball every time they got it. Grubber kicks, chip kicks everywhere.
Well, they're just practicing. They're just trying it out.
I know.
All of these games are meaningless games. I mean, the games that we're looking forward to are the Test Series games, aren't they? So they're just combination hustling at the moment.
I remember back to when they were here in 2017, and it was a Saturday night, and there was a Lions Provincial Barbarians game on, and a bunch of guys you'd never heard of, I think, played in the Heartland Championship, or were very lower levels of NPC, and it was a really great occasion. I think it was a close one for the Lions. The atmosphere was great. Those are the things that you like about these meaningless matches, but I guess when you're watching from afar and you're looking at an Optus Stadium in Perth, it's not very full. There's a few people there. You don't feel the energy the way that you do when they're
What I did notice is that all of the people on tour with the Lions, the official tour, all look like me.
Old?
Yeah. I suppose you've got to be old to afford to pay for it to come over all the way. Jurgen Klopp has called the World Club Championships football's worst idea ever. This is the FIFA World Club football's worst idea ever.
Club
For the
World
first time ever, I agree with Jurgen Klopp.
What was he saying that when Liverpool won the Club World Cup about 4 or 5 years ago now?
Well, the way that they've got it now, though, with 32 teams, and it just takes way too long, and the players should be having a break at the moment. Look, apart from Auckland City getting a point against Boca Juniors, I'm not interested in anything about this competition. No. I don't care. Do you follow the scores? Do you care who's winning? Care. Can you tell me who's
I get notifications from my sports app saying that, is this Messi's last game at the highest level? They got thumped for.
I always measure everything in sport like this. Okay, and this is called my Olympic scale. If you've got a sport at the Olympics and the Olympic gold medal is not the pinnacle of the sport, it shouldn't be at the Olympics. If you've got a FIFA World Club football competition and to win that is not the pinnacle of what you can win as a football club, then why have it? There's not a single team competing in this.
Well, for some clubs it is.
Well, okay.
They wouldn't win it. The one, for Auckland City, this would be the pinnacle.
Auckland City's different. But tell me a European side that would rather...
No, they wouldn't.
They'd win the Champions League.
They would like the money that comes with it
because
there'll be a fair bit of money.
Or give me the Premier League, or give me the Bundesliga, or give me any of those.
But that's not the motivation as to why they've set the tournament up. It's because everything is money.
I know, which is boring, which is why it is boring, which is why no one cares about it, which is why nobody also cares about
Did you see
MLC.
The numbers are just quick. Did you see the numbers around the attendance? I think only about 55% of all ticket sales. I think it was only in the group stage for the Club World Cup. 55% had been taken. So essentially, nearly half of the games on average, nearly half of those stadiums were empty.
I'll tell you on the Sky on the weekend, Sky Sport, and there's Major League Cricket on. We got Test series at the moment between the West Indies and Australia, England and India. Why can't we watch those?
England and India is not on Sky Sport, I don't think. Well, I'm not sure about Australia, West Indies.
You get highlights later in the day. Major League Cricket.
On Sky?
Yeah, tell me, but you don't get it live. Tell me one person who knows all the teams that are playing Major League Cricket. God knows.
Well, because
it's on ESPN
okay, hold on.
too.
This is easily explainable. Is that Sky don't have the rights to broadcast? I don't know. The Australia West Indies one's strange. They must have. If they've got the rights to the highlights, surely
they've got
the rights to the
ESPN too.
broadcast.
Have got the rights to the highlights, so they've got something. But look, there's not a single cricket fan in the world who cares about MLC.
There's some, I'm sure. There's some who
there's
love
no one at any of the games, mate.
Well, there's some that love that. There's probably some in India who love their T20 cricket who are watching it. Yeah, sure. There might be some real T20 fanatics in New Zealand who are watching
rubbish sport.
Well, that's your. Now, I agree with you. I love Test cricket. I'm the same with you. But there are people who like this stuff.
Really?
At the same time,
leave us a comment and tell me that you know the names of all the teams.
It's pretty. Sky don't have the rights to England, India. That's why they're not broadcasting it. There might be somewhere else in New Zealand who can broadcast it. I'm not saying I'm defending Sky. It'd be wonderful if we did.
It's rubbish.
It's the way it is.
It's just filler, is what it is. It's not even sport.
Yeah. There's
Broncos, Warriors. What did we learn about each team and where they are this season after that game? We'll do more tomorrow, of course, because a Big League Tuesday is tomorrow. But Broncos, Warriors.
Well, with the Warriors, I thought it was pretty uncharacteristic. They looked like they hadn't really gotten off the bus in that first 5 or 10 minutes. I mean, when you're dropping the ball on the third play of the first tackle,
it wasn't their best performance. No.
The issue with it's very easy to criticise Brisbane by how hot and cold they are, but when they're on, their forwards beat you up, and they have 3 playmakers in their halves and at fullback who can tear you to shreds. So that's what happened for a lot of the first half against the Warriors. Now, the Broncos fell into some bad habits where they are disjointed on attack. Defensively, they tend to give away a lot of 6-against and penalties that feel unnecessary. Warriors did a lot of that on the weekend. But for the most part, the Broncos beat them up in the middle, and then when they got their chances, they took them.
I'm just more concerned about the injuries to the Warriors, especially to Metcalf, because that's a real bugger if he's out. He's been such a massive bugger.
It's unfortunate for him. He's been huge all year. I will say one thing for the Warriors. Don't take this the wrong way. It's very sad about the injuries, but they've had a pretty good run with injuries.
Well, every team gets injuries, and this is it.
Everyone gets injuries.
The squad. I know, but it's just that
it's very unfortunate
losing him. The points table, the way that it is between the Broncos in 5th and the Cowboys in 12th, there's only 3 points separating all of those teams. And the Warriors can absorb a loss like this. That's the great thing when you've had such a terrific start to the season. You can. There's still a 4-point buffer. A bye, and there's 3 really winnable games. Tigers at home, Knights away, Titans at home. You win those home games, and the Warriors can come home and win 15 or 16, and that's top 4. So I'm not panicking at all about this.
Yes, but 4 points is 2 wins.
I'm just saying.
I know Brisbane, for example, have 9 games left. I think the Warriors might have 9 or 10.
Yeah, but you look at Brisbane's draw compared to the Warriors' draw.
But I'm just saying in general. We're only just past halfway. 2 wins isn't many at all.
Well,
so
it's just, when you look at the draw, bottom feeders. That's who the Warriors have got. Bottom feeders.
Well,
the next 3 games are against teams in the bottom 5.
You just referenced how close the table is.
No, you got to win those games.
Yeah, I know, but don't get ahead
bottom
of yourself.
Feeders.
I won't as a Brisbane fan. You
can't get ahead of yourself.
Let me finish. Hold on, let me finish.
You're lucky to be in the 8.
Let me finish. There's no way I'll ever get ahead of myself with this team based on how
you
they've
were ahead of yourself at the start of the year.
Okay, I'm trying to have a serious conversation here.
You've always been ahead of yourself with the Broncos.
6 premierships. Warriors got none. That's all I've got to say.
Finally, then, All Black selection time. Do you agree with my squad initially? My team my 23.
For the most part, I think it picks itself in many ways because you have to pick your best team for the first test of the year. I don't like this whole. I don't mind the idea of it in general in the great scheme of a World Cup, but I don't like the idea of let's just pick a rotated team and build up towards the South African test. No, you need to find your best 15 now and then work them towards that test. I don't agree with Damian McKenzie at first 5.
I'm giving him a go.
Only because we gave him a lot of goes last year, and granted he played well in parts, very well against Ireland, but at least the underwhelming performances, particularly against Australia and Sydney, if we go back to that, coupled with Beauden Barrett and his form in Super Rugby, I don't think there's enough there to give Damian McKenzie the jersey. I'd love it if he had it. I'd love it if he was playing well. It's not anti-Damo.
I know. I'm saying you got 3 test matches. I'm going to give you the first 2 Damian McKenzie at number 10. You prove to me that you're going to be that guy for the rugby. But
I'm looking at it as I'm picking my best team, and if I'd pick a 23 that I'd want to throw against the South Africans, that I'd want to put in a World Cup final. What racer thinks this is his best 23? Beauden Barrett starting at first 5 for me. Rieko Ioane on the left wing just because he hasn't played there. I don't think he's played there at all.
I don't think he's forgotten how to play there.
But I would probably go with I guess Caleb Clark can play. Sevu, I don't know. This sounds a bit silly. I'd be tempted to put Will Jordan on the wing and Beauden Barrett at fullback and maybe McKenzie at first 5.
That will happen at some stage in the second half.
I know I'm just countering what I said about Barrett just now, but I actually don't mind that double first 5 approach. I've always kind of liked it.
Leave us a comment about it. You choose your side. Let's have a compare.
This is the DSPN.